You really thought I was gonna let you get away and slide. You really thought you could slander my name while trying to maintain this goody boy image? You thought I was gonna let you continue selling these cheap brushes from Alibaba as if they premium brushes? Oh, you don't wanna look at me, huh? Well, look at me now, King. Hey yo, what it do? It's your boy J. Lou, and you are just in time for something true. Alright, the video that everybody has been waiting for. Ever since I dropped the video, The Truth About the Wave Game, people have been hitting me up like,
hey yo, J. Lou, when you gonna drop the truth about the brush industry?
When it comes to this video, what you guys need to understand is this video contains a lot of intertwining between my ascension into the wave game, as well as the relationships that I developed, as the things that I've seen coming up. This video may mention certain people, but this video is not about those people. My videos are my own testament. They're my own kind of like story in regards to what I've experienced. Because when I look at the wave game, it's like basketball to me, right? Anybody that is a major influencer, we're like the starting 5 players when it comes to the game. That means I have court vision. That means I can see everything that's going on. That means the coach, I know what the coach is telling me to run the plays and everything like that. I'm in the lockers with the other players. I know what they're saying. I know what they're doing. All of this different stuff like that, right? Now, the people that's on the bench, these are the people I typically refer to as the Facebook and the Instagram waivers of people like that, right? They may have a social presence, but it's not as big as ourselves or other people. And what you will notice is they will get their moment of shine within the wave game by simply doing a collab with somebody, or you may see them in somebody's haircut video or something like that. They come off the bench for temporary moments just to get their shine. Then you have people that's in the crowd. People that whenever I drop the truth about the wave game video, these people have no vision. They don't see everything that's going on. They're only speaking from a limited perspective, and they're saying,
yo, why in the heck did you mention 360 wave process? This dude doesn't say anything bad about nobody. Why are you bashing him? Blah, 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 blah.
And all this hippie stuff, right? What I learned, the people that claim to be so positive and all positive, those are the people that have ulterior motives. And they know that if they come in with this positive mindset, that you will drop your guards. You will think that it's like in real life. If somebody comes to you with their defense up, immediately you're going to put your guard up, right? But if somebody comes up to you to give you a hug, and as soon as you open your hands up, they hit you with an uppercut, you out of there. It's called a sucker punch. And there's a lot of people within the wave game that do this kind of stuff, right? There's a lot of people in real life that do this kind of stuff. So with that being said, the disclaimer on this video, if you are new, you've never seen a video from me before, I want you to understand, I'm not being tone deaf with this whole situation that's going on. I know we're in a pandemic, and this is the only time in my generation, my lifetime, that I've ever seen, read about, or witnessed where we have people from different ethnicities, people from different nationalities, people from all different shades of skin tones coming together to say one thing.
Black Lives Matter.
Right? And on the tail end of it, because Black Lives Matter, they will also say things like,
you gotta support black-owned businesses.
Now, I never liked this phrase, support black-owned businesses, because it doesn't paint the full picture. People that will tell you that, you will go in blindly thinking that
I'm gonna support every single black-owned business.
When the reality is, if you've been black all your life, you already know every single skin folk is not your kinfolk. Because there's people that's looking to exploit you, if that means throwing you under the bus. So that's what this video is going to be about. But at the same time, I'm going to also get into kind of some of the behind the scenes stuff. Some of the things that as a player in this game, you guys don't have the ability to see this kind of stuff. But because I've been in the game for a long time period, I know what's going on, right? And because I don't have a ulterior motive, right? A lot of people that's on YouTube, most of them just want to make money off of it. That's not a bad thing. I've never said that. You can make money, but at the same time, just like in history, what you do, whether if it's good or whether if it's bad, will go down in history, right? I prefer to where everything that I do lines up on a good side. Other people that don't have motive, morals, and things of that nature, that don't really care about their legacy, will do whatever it takes And whenever they reach there, they feel like,
oh, well, people gonna accept me no matter what, right?
I call that the Rick Ross syndrome, where you fabricate who you are and you develop a level of success to where when you finally get famous, people don't even care that you lied about who you was when you first started off. That stuff works, but that's not who I am. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Alright, now first things first, when it comes to the brush industry, what I want you guys to understand is everything that we're doing is the first of its kind. The brush industry for a very long time period was dominated by the Asian market as well as white corporations and things of that nature. But we are finally seeing people that literally own their own businesses and being able to sell products and everything of that nature. But the reality is the only thing that designates a person as a black owned business is whenever they form their business, whether if it's an LLC, whether if it's an S Corp corporation, whether if it's a sole proprietorship or whatever you want to call it, as long as 51% of the ownership is by somebody that is black, they are designated as a black owned business. So that means that they can sell you things that other people create and make, but as long as they own 51%, they can claim that status, right? So when it comes to this industry, people literally think that when it comes to brushes, people make their own brushes. That's not the reality, right? The only company that I know of that's black owned that's actually selling brushes and supplying it to the community is this company right here. I'm gonna show you guys. This company, Wave Enforcer. A lot of people did not know that Wave Enforcer was black owned. The reason why I know that is because I live in Houston, and guess what? Wave Enforcer was started in Houston. So when it comes to businesses and brands, I've seen these other YouTubers that when they decided to come out with their own brush, bash Wave Enforcer, make it seem like they're giving you way better quality than Wave Enforcer, when the reality is, why are you trying to bash another black owned business to try to promote your own business? Now, Wave Enforcer is the only business that I know that's operating as a corporation. The other business that you probably guys know about is Crown Quality Products. Most people get in the credit and basically say that they came out with the first curved brush. If you know anything about the brush industry, you already know that curved brushes was always on the market way before they came out. Crown Quality Products start marketing their brushes towards the wave game and also to barbershops, right? So as influence back in those days, you had people like Young Wavy that made a video and was showing people different things like that. And the first brushes that Crown Quality made were actually designed by hand. So what I mean is they actually cut the brush out of wood themselves and they simply made it. But it got to a point to where when they first started off, the quality was amazing. They started putting other YouTubers on. They had teams and everything like that. They was giving out prizes and stuff, and then their quality dropped off the face of the map. But they still kept selling their brushes as if they was high quality. The next person is BK. And when I say BK, I'm talking about Brush King. That's not the Brush King that I'm referring to in this video. The BK is actually somebody that started off as a waver. He got his name simply because he starts applying the wave game with brushes that everybody was looking for that they couldn't find at affordable prices, right? When Kent was selling their brushes for $200, BK was finding them and selling them to people for $30, $40 or something like that, right? When people was looking for OG Diane's and they was being sold for $100 and all that stuff like that, he was selling them to people for $8, $5, $20, $15 or whatever the case is. That's how he got his name. But what people don't know is Brush King actually owns every single type of brush in the world that you could think of. That's one reason why he was able to set his business apart. People think that he only owns Torino Pros, or they think that he only owns royalties. The reality is, Brush King designs brushes that for himself, but also for other businesses. His first business and product line was called the Lato Pros. You have some people that claim that he simply copied Monster Pros, but they don't even know he designed the brushes for Monster Pro brushes, right? And then he transitioned into making the Torino Pros, which is his main line, to where he does all these different things, and that's the line that he likes the most, right? But he created the royalty line because a lot of people love the Diane OG brushes, so he made a brush very similar to that design concept, but then he revolutionized it by doing a whole bunch of different things. Now, the one thing I can say, BK, he set the standard, right? Unlike Crown Quality Products, every time BK released something, his quality always improved, right? So even when he first started, his price was at a very low point, but because his quality improved, so did his price point. But BK always priced his brushes around the market price, and it always fluctuated within a reasonable price point. But then, this is where the real Brush King enters the picture. This is where 360 wave process enters the picture, right? This dude decides to make his own brush up, and the sad reality is a lot of people really fell for it. A lot of people thought he actually designed and made his own brushes.
On my online store, you guys know I sell brushes, my own brand of brushes. My own brand of brushes.
But if I can be real about it, be real, son. Real. Be real, son.
You guys don't know that you can go out and buy cheap ass brushes off of Alibaba and then simply put your logo on there and then resell these brushes, right? The funny thing is 3WP actually has a degree, I believe, in business marketing or something like that, right? So everything that he's always done has always been from a marketing standpoint. It's so funny to me that people used to try to tell me,
you need to get like 3WP and get on his level and make up your own brush. Why don't you do what he's doing?
When a lot of you didn't know, what he was simply doing was buying these cheap ass brushes and marking them up. Now, the history about all of this stuff, besides 3WP, there's been a whole bunch of other people that once they found out he was doing this, they start doing the same thing. But instead of, they start getting the same brushes, putting their own logos on them, but selling them at a more affordable rate around the market price, right? Now, the history between all of this, whenever I first came onto YouTube, y'all already know from my loyal subscribers, I've always showed everybody love. I always showed everybody support. When it came to 3WP, he was no different. I showed him support from the jump, right? He doesn't even know that he was the person that taught me how to find my value when it came to YouTube, because he created this video in regards to explaining,
if you are an influencer or whatever the case is, you need to go on Social Blue Book. It's a website to where if you're a YouTuber or Instagram or something like that and you have a platform, you can use your analytics and they will tell you how much you need to charge people in order to promote their products or give a shout out or whatever the case is. Now that IG has a story, you can charge story posts and things of that nature.
I actually learned that from 3WP.
Alright, socialbluebook.com. This website will tell you how much your Instagram is currently worth to advertisers, okay?
Right? And from the jump, I've always showed him respect on his videos and his channel, everything like that. Every now and then you may see a comment from me saying, hey, salute, blah, 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 etc., etc. It got to a point to where he made this one video where he explained he was trying to sell some t-shirts and he was having a hard time because he came up with this design. He thought people was going to sell it, buy him and everything like that. Nobody bought the t-shirts, right?
I don't know if my design just wasn't catchy enough for my audience or whatever. It hasn't done as well as I thought it was going to do, all right? But I just got to figure out how to sell these t-shirt merch. Or maybe I'm charging too much. Who knows? I got to figure it out.
So me being the smart, black, educated man that I am, as well as the supportive brother when I first came into the game, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy one of his shirts. I did not tell him I bought his shirt. I made a video, promoted it, did all of that kind of stuff like that. The only time he ever commented on my channel was the first time I wore that t-shirt. Now, when he commented on that video, he said something along the lines of, man, you good for the game, blah, 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 blah. Don't let that go over your head. The only reason why he said that is because at that time period, all these other YouTubers was beefing with each other. They was always competitive and in competition with each other. I was the only person willing to support people without them asking me to support them, right? So that's the reason why he felt that I was good for the game, because I had that kind of energy to support people, right? That video was actually the #1 video on my channel, so I know that that video drove a lot of traffic towards his page. He probably was able to get some sales off of stuff like that, right? Now, what started happening was he started commenting on the videos where I wore the shirt. That was the only videos he would typically comment on, right? And I thought that was odd. I was like, yo, what? Like, that means he's watching my video because I'm not tagging him. So I sit back and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna think nothing of it, because when I support people, I don't expect people to support me. Just because I buy your t-shirt does not mean you have to subscribe to my channel. Does not mean you have to give me a shout out. Does not mean any of that, right? But what I learned was, as I start growing in YouTube, like I said, a lot of these dudes are very competitive. A lot of these dudes All they care about is competing with one another. This is where the other aspects of the brush industry comes into the picture. Once Brush King decided to drop his Fatality project, a lot of you guys probably know and are familiar, there was 2 influencers that he used directly for that project, which means that he sent them a box of brushes in a time period long enough for them to be able to review it, as well as make a video and do etc, etc. I don't know if they had a week, I don't know if they had a month, or whatever the case is, but at the end of the day, they had the brushes long enough. He was discussing things with them because that's the kind of person he is, and whenever he drops his brushes, it's only after those videos are released. So literally, this was me being in the crowd like you guys were. Even though I had a channel at the time period, my channel was very small, right? So I sat back and I'm like, okay, when it comes to watching these videos, these cats aren't doing they're not doing no justice to the brushes. All they simply saying is,
oh, this looks dope, this looks dope, this looks dope, blah, 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 blah.
You can go back and watch. Just simply type in Torino Pro Fatality and you will see the other people as well as my video. I make sure I link a video to my right above. When I dropped this video right here, this was on the same day that they dropped their videos. Within that same time period, I looked at what was going on, studied the website and everything like that, made my video. People actually thought that I received one of the box of brushes from BK and everything like that, but I didn't have a single one. That video right there allowed me to earn a lot of respect between BK in regards to his brand, because within the wave game, there's a lot of people that don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? So that put me on the map and the radar, I truly believe, in regards to being seen, and that kind of separated me from the other people. Now, the reason why this is important is because at this time period, I believe 3WP was also trying to come out with his own brushes and things of that nature, and I was doing reviews for Brush King off the strength, and at the same time, we were all cool and everything like that, right? So fast forward, it gets to a point to where 3WP tries to drop his gold edition of the brush as well as the crown beard brush or whatever the case is. I ended up making these 2 videos right up here. I put the thumbnails. You will not find those videos on my channel because after I found out the truth and after everything unfolded, I couldn't support 3WP, right? Now, the reason why I say that is before I made those videos, he reached out to me and was like,
hey, yo, J-Lou, can you do a review of these brushes? I'm trying to get them promoted and everything like that. I'm willing to pay you.
I told him first and foremost,
Look, bruh, I don't really do paid promotions. If I review something, it's because I truly want to review it and I want to highlight it and promote it. Feel free to send it to me and everything like that, and we'll discuss things further from there, right?
So he sent me the brushes. I did my reviews and everything like that, and then sent them back to him just to get his opinion, because like I said, from day one, I've always supported people just off the strength, right? In the video, I stated that
this is his brush. It's not good. It's not as good quality as the Torino Pros. It's a lot more expensive. But at the end of the day, if you want to support him, go ahead and buy this brush, blah, 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 blah.
That was one aspect that he did not like about the video. He told me straight up,
man, I'm over here paying you for a review and you giving my competition too much shine.
Peep game, because at the end of the day, these people, like I said, all they do is focus on competition. So I told him straight up, I said,
look, man, when it comes to my videos, if you don't like it, you don't have to pay me. At the end of the day, I told you from the jump, I don't do paid reviews.
I released that video. I remember the comments from that video. There are some people that only bought those brushes because of my review. He still hit me up and he was like,
you know what, I'm gonna still pay you, blah, 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 blah.
Guess how much this dude paid me? And keep in mind, like I said from the beginning, he was the person that taught me how to calculate my value and worth off of YouTube with Social Blue Book, right? This dude had the audacity to try to pay me $75. When at the time period, even though my channel was not as big as other people's or as big as it is now, my paid promotion videos was worth $300 to $500 at the time period. Now, I'm going to put the screenshot of what my videos are worth now, and you will clearly see that my channel's growth has grown way further than that, right? This dude purposely lowballed me. My camera alone, this bad boy that I'm filming on, is well over $500, right? The tripod itself that I use is $75. What the hell am I gonna do with a measly $75? In that video, I had the screenshots and all that stuff like that, and he was selling his brushes for $30 plus shipping and handling and everything like that. He's always sold his brushes way more than Brush King ever sold his brushes. And the funny thing is, he saw Brush King as competition, right? So moving forward, it got to the time period. The reason why this brush industry is so important is because it ties so closely with the wave game. When Brush King decided to reach out to me to do the project for the 52 Shades of Royalty, as well as the Torino Pro, Overkill, and all of this stuff like that, right? Before anybody knew about it, me and Brush King was chopping everything. We was chopping it up and we was talking. And Brush King kept telling me for 4 months straight,
all right, J-Lou, if you want to work with me, understand you will become hated.
And I kept wondering, I was like, bro, why you keep saying that? There was a time period where nobody had my back, right? On the copycat video I did, I'll make sure I link that bad boy right above here. There was one thing I said where it was like, there was one person that came to my back and was like,
hey, yo, J-Lou, just put the blockers on. I believe in you. Your channel's dope. You have what it takes. Just keep going. Blah, 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 blah.
That person was BK. At the time period where everybody was hating on me, BK was the only person that was willing to speak up and say something that was actually truthful. And then that's when I started seeing other people switch up, or other people try to offer their opinions and all this stupid stuff. But it's not because BK said that the reason why I respected him and decided to work with him. The reason why I decided to work with BK is when I work with anybody, even when 3WP approached me, I ask everybody the same series of questions, because when it comes to promoting somebody's business or brand or products, I put myself on the line, right? So typically I ask questions like,
okay, how much you gonna be selling them for? What's the website? Will you offer refunds? What's your whole product situation? What's the process? As well as, do you own them? Do you have the patents or anything like that, right?
When it came to 3WP, he made it seem like he owned his brushes. He gave me the same mumbo jumbo business spiel that he told everybody else. And was like,
yeah, these are my brushes, blah, 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 blah.
And I believed him at the time period, right? But when it came to BK, BK took it a step further. He showed me that he had the patents for all of his brushes, right? Now, as things started unfolding, and when I finally started working with BK, I dropped the trailer to Dawn, right? I put a link right above here. You can click on it and watch it. When I dropped that video, the reason why I became the Dawn is because I got tired of people trying to be the peacekeeper between the wave game. When I started working with BK, you can go back and watch that Dawn trailer. None of these other YouTubers that y'all look up to, that y'all support, all these other people that was supporting my channel and saying,
man, you good for the game, and man, you dope, and you the best this, and you the best that, blah, blah, blah.
Everybody from that day forward stopped commenting on my videos. And what I learned right then in that moment was what BK was trying to warn me about, was that I was going to become hated. Now, I wasn't tripping, because in my mindset, I'm like, you know what? If people don't want to support my channel because I got a box of brushes when they wanted them, they're shallow. I'm not tripping off of that. Even when it comes to BK brushes, I've never made it seem as if you have to buy his brushes and his brushes are the only brushes worth to buy. I've always stated,
hey, these are the best brushes on the market, but if you're more comfortable starting off with a wave enforcer brush, go ahead and start off with that.
He's never had an issue with me saying anything like that. And the reason why is because whenever BK, even though he had started his Lato Pro business, the funny thing was he was selling his own brushes, right? I hit BK up and I said,
hey, yo, BK, I'm trying to buy a soft palm brush.
He told me,
I'm gonna be real with you, J-Lou, the best softie in the game right now is the Aka Kappa.
I was like, don't you have your own business line, blah, blah, blah. Like, why would you want to sell me something like that? That's what showed me the integrity and the character that BK had versus everybody else. These other people try to make it seem like nobody else's products are on the market. They try to make it seem like their products are the best, when the reality is 3WP didn't even know, but his subscribers start reaching out to me saying,
and why are you exposing 3WP when he's selling brushes off of Alibaba?
I've had several inbox messages from these people, them reaching out to me saying,
hey man, take a look at this. Did you know this?
And these are his supporters, right?
Hey man, what y'all trying to hide some of this shit, man? Keep it on the down low, you'll get a nigga busted.
And at that time period, it got to the point to where I was running with this joke, because your favorite YouTuber in the wave game that claims that he made everything up tried to clown me for having a legal team. So I ran with that idea and I said, look, everybody, Exhibit A, this is the brushes that 3WP claimed that he created and everything like that. The pictures below are brushes, the pictures that are found off of Alibaba's website or something like that, right? It was a joke. But what happened was, Instead of admitting to it, this dude resorts to ad hominems. Just like everybody else, all these other videos that I've ever made, instead of people actually confronting the truth that's presented in these videos, the claims and the facts that I present, they resort to attacking my personal character. That's what an ad hominem argument is, right? They ignore the truth and they say,
oh man, but J. Lou's a hater. Or J. Lou is this.
And they try to spin this narrative so you don't believe what I'm saying. And it's a silly debate technique that people love to use whenever they can't stand on anything, right? So this dude he started going out here calling me a snake. And for whatever reason, it confirmed all of the hate that he had towards me was because of BK, because he brought BK up into the situation. And he started dragging BK name through the mud. And what a lot of people don't understand is within the wave game, there's been this subtle colorism. When I was talking with BK along the time period, I was
Like, bro, like, why people be hating on you?
and at first he was like,
Man, it's a whole bunch of stuff, but one of the things that's going on right now is because people saying that I'm not black.
3WP was actually one of the people that was behind this movement trying to say,
Y'all shouldn't support Brush King because he's not black, and
it got to a point to where this whole real Brush King concept came about when Hurricane Harvey was going on. Me and Brush King, we live in Houston, right? So at the end of the day, we're in this whole flood that's devastating the city. Water's rising, people losing their homes, people losing their lives. I had a friend that was lost for 20 days. Nobody knew where he was at, right? I'm not saying that to try to sway your emotions or anything like that. I'm saying that because all that stuff was going on. This is the reason why I won't forget what this cat did. The reason why I knew he was throwing a sub at the time was because he stated something about
everything that's going on in Houston, I know, blah, 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 blah. I see what's going on in Houston, but I'm the real Brush King. Oh, I'm black. I actually have waves. I'm the real Brush King.
That's what this dude literally had on his post. All the stupid stuff. He edited that post and changed it up and removed all of that because I had addressed him. I said,
Hey, bro, you ain't gotta do all of that stuff like that, right? You don't need to be trying to make it seem like you're the real Brush King. That's disrespectful because that's his name, that's his brand.
And the only reason why I did this is because I had respect for 3WP, right? That's like me saying, you know what?
I see all these other people in Cali doing their thing, but I'm the real 360 wave process. Because instead of giving y'all bogus information, I'm actually telling y'all exactly how to get your waves the right way.
But because I addressed him, from that day forward, he started trying to do little slick stuff to try to undermine my channel's exposure as well as content, right? So one little example is when it comes to hair porosity, who taught y'all hair porosity? I was the person that put a lot of people on game about that, and I've actually spoken about porosity in way greater detail than any other waver on YouTube. That's actually naturals that hit me up and say,
I've learned more from you about hair porosity than anybody else.
tell me why 3WP in his efforts to try to undermine my channel makes a video talking about
what's the 5 signs of low porosity waivers?
And in this video, what I've always said, these YouTubers that have a lot more subscribers than me, they know how to trick the algorithm. They know how to drown out other people's channels in order to make themselves stand out more. So go back. If you want to, feel free to watch that video. He starts off by saying this stuff like,
oh man, I want to make this video because Country King taught me some stuff about my hair porosity, blah, 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 blah.
when the reality is, if you go back to Country King video, he doesn't go into half as much detail as I went into. And at the same time, it's not a knock to Country King, but at that time, his video only had like somewhere between 3,000 views, right? My porosity video was at a different level, so I know from that standpoint alone, it had a different reach, right? Me and Country King always had respect for one another. I've always shot at Country King. I've always given Country King his props. But 3WP only did this to try to make it seem like he did not take the information from me because he didn't want to give me any kind of recognition or shine, right? So he makes this little stupid video of him taking some of the screenshots from my video, right? And the thing that these YouTubers do is he did a whole bunch of stupid stuff in the video, like,
if I make this shot, then I'm gonna do this, and if I make this shot, give me a whole bunch of likes and blah 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 blah.
The reason why people do this is because they know they don't have nothing to talk about, but they need the watch time to extend their video. So my channel is packed with nothing but jam-packed information that you need to know in regard to hair porosity. His video is a whole bunch of fluff, a whole bunch of if I shoot this, and he's begging you guys for likes because he knows if you guys like his video more than mine, his video will stand up higher in the YouTube algorithm when you search for it, right? These are the things that I mean when I say people try to drown your content and your channel out. I don't sweat this kind of stuff. I don't cry or I don't complain about this kind of stuff. But when people hit me up and say,
man, I've been trying to look for your video, but I can't find you.
These are the blatant examples that I'm talking about when I say these other cats have formed an alliance against me and they're trying to suppress my content. Now, the fact that my channel has been able to grow despite all of this stuff goes to show you that you don't need nobody else. My ascension in the wave game was because I got to the point and said, instead of saying,
man, instead of thinking I need you guys, instead of smiling in your face and stabbing you behind your back because I'm really trying to compete with you, I don't need none of y'all.
And my channel has been able to grow because of that. And I've been able to do things the right way. Instead of lying to my community, instead of selling my community cheap ass products and making it seem like they're better quality than Torino Pros, this dude literally on Facebook will trash anybody that supports Brush King's brand. He will say, oh, Brush King has these cheap ass brushes and blah, 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 blah. You need to support my brushes and all this stuff like that. And then people have the audacity to try to tell me that he never says nothing bad about nobody. When the reality is, when I tried to have a conversation with him, all he did was try to attack my character. He never addressed any of the things that I said in a respectful manner, right? And he claims to have a business degree. I've never met somebody so educated that doesn't have any common sense. He literally told me that his brushes get made from the same factory as BK. And I said, how can you say something like that? And he said, because they're all made in China.
He was considered the best.
I sat down and I was like, bro, do you realize that China is a country? When you look at China on a map, it's a big ass country, right? And he's so far gone in his mindset to where he thinks that the same factory that makes his cheap ass brushes is the same factory that produces Brush King brushes. Now, the reality behind the brush industry is that when you look on Alibaba's website, you will not find Brush King brushes. You may find some replicas or some knockoffs, but you will not find Brush King brushes. The main reason why is because Brush King owns the patents behind his brushes. 3WP makes it seem like he comes out with all these new brushes and things like that, when the reality is he just simply waits for Alibaba to drop something new and then try to coin it or put it in a marketing term because that's his degree, right? He's trying to persuade you to buy something that is of lower value and to make it seem like you're getting value out of it. That's the reason why he came up with this stupid ass name talking about fork breaker. Anybody that knows anything about waves know that any brush that you use, as long as you have the correct angles, will break forks. But that's a marketing scheme. And that's the stuff that I mean. When people call you a snake, when people call you a hater, when people say all these things about you, they're just projecting how they feel about themselves. Despite me speaking all calm about the situation, this dude is one of the grimiest people within the wave game because he knows how to use the YouTube algorithm. He knows how to use tags and different things of that nature within the search engine optimization to make his video stand out to where he can get a lot more searches and people will think because he has a lot more hits, he knows what he's talking about. But when you actually look at the information, you compare his porosity video compared to mine, you will see he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm going to go into greater detail. The main reason why I held off on making any more porosity videos was because once he did that, that showed me. I said,
okay, this dude, since he's not copying off of me, I'm going to wait till he drop his high porosity video. I'm going to wait till he drop his medium or normal porosity video.
Because the only reason why he dropped the low porosity video was because I went into detail about that. So he basically regurgitated the same information I put out there in a different format, and there's people that really thought he came up with this information that did his research. That just goes to show me, I'm like, bro, there are people that will literally say,
because I have a degree, I'm educated or smarter than this.
And if you just look at what they're saying or not, I went to school with a lot of people at A&M where they were cheating the whole entire time. They may have gotten a degree, but at the end of the day, I actually studied for my degree, right? I was getting A's when everybody else was getting curved up to a C, right? My grades were typically the point where the curve was established because I was studying everything that I was doing. That's not to say that I'm better than other people, because I don't like being the smartest person in the room. What I'm simply saying is these people literally will just mooch off of my content. They will hate on me. Like I said, when BK kept telling me,
man, if you work with me, people gonna hate.
One reason why I stopped working with BK was because I got tired of the unnecessary hate. They had so many people that actually thought I was Brush King. And there's a lot of people on the Facebook wave pages that started these hate groups towards BK. And when somebody started a stupid little rumor that was like,
oh man, J. Lou is actually BK.
And 3WP actually started doing this stupid stuff and making these stupid claims, talking about I was just a puppet and I'm actually BK and I'm trying to undermine his business so I can sell my brushes and all this stupid stuff, right? At the end of the day, I met BK. They try to say BK's not black. But if I look at BK and I look at myself, we damn near look like cousins. And at the end of the day, does that truly matter? Because these people literally will sell you cheap ass brushes at a way higher market price.
I can't sleep on that. Not on my watch. That's not how I roll. That shit is serious.
What I'm against is when people try to use their blackness as a weapon. They try to say,
don't support that person because they're not black and you need to support me.
When at the end of the day, when they get their money, the first thing that they do is they show up to the designer stores and they giving their money right back to the people that they telling you not to support.
Message.
Stuff like that blows my mind, right? You guys are still supporting people and their products are basic products and everything like that. And the first thing that they do is they buy all this other stuff. And they have the audacity to tell you,
support black-owned businesses.
But yet they supporting white-owned businesses. They stunting on you. And you support people that don't support you. But for me, I've created my own platform that did not require me to depend on these people. There are a lot of other YouTube influencers that are dependent on collabs, that's dependent on shout outs, and they wonder why their channels don't grow. Instead of investing in themselves, they're investing in other people. They're supporting other people. They're building other people up with the hopes that,
oh, well, if this person gets to that point, they're gonna bring me up.
When the reality is, these people don't give a damn about you. I'm always amazed when people hit me up and I respond back to them on IG and they say,
damn, bro, I'm actually surprised that you responded back to me.
That blows my mind, because nobody is that busy to where you can't respond back to your supporters. I'm not talking about randoms. I'm talking about people that support you, and you say that you don't have the time to respond back to your supporters. That stuff right there is ass backwards, right? But at the end of the day, there's so many things about the brush industry that people don't understand. The last thing I'm going to give you guys, if 3WP was so educated with his business marketing degree or whatever he want to call it, what he should have did was buy a private label brush. What that simply means is you can buy a brush off of Alibaba's website, but basically buy the private label rights to it to where nobody else can buy that brush, to where that they remove it off the website. And you're the only one that can sell that brush, right? That's something that a lot of people don't know that they can do. People keep telling me to come out with my brush. I'm not about to do that. The main reason why is because BK has been offering you guys amazing quality. And the funny thing is, out of all these brush companies, BK offers you guys the best quality, and he's the only one that has consistently given you guys sales and discounts over time. All these other people, they don't discount their brushes, they don't discount their products and things like that. So I sit back and I'm like, bro, people literally will support something because it's more expensive, and they think because it's more expensive, it's higher quality, when the reality is they can buy those same brushes and sell them for cheaper and make way more money on their sales. That's the game. That's the gems. And if you want to do it the right way, you can buy a private label brush. If I wanted to, I could sell Texas tea and basically say, hey, you know what? This is my ingredients. This is my recipe. This is how you make it. And have another company basically take over it. And I pocket all the money and everything like that and have you guys think that I make everything. But the reason why I don't do that is because I would lose control of it. The quality of my product would start going down.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it. They know that, even if they don't know me any more than they know the chairman of General Mills.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is when you chop my dope down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, and then you call it Blue Magic. That is trademark infringement.
It's the difference. The one thing I can't say, people love to say I don't say nothing positive about none of these people. The one thing I can't say about PB, I don't respect anything about how he got the knowledge about his products and everything like that, because he stole them from his fellow brothers, right? He undercut his fellow brothers. But the one thing I can say and that makes 3WP worse is at least PB makes his products, right? He buys the equipment, he buys the ingredients and everything like that. He mixes them and everything, and he packages them. 3WP, all he does is slap a sticker on a brush and make it seem like he created it.
You might speak 16 languages, but you gonna need them when you in Times Square selling fake hats.
You guys can go out here and do the same thing. Or you can actually support a legit black-owned business like Wave Enforcer that's actually in stores, that's actually giving back to our communities and things of that nature. And the last thing I want to say, for you influencers, for you YouTubers that's accepting these low-ass payments for your product reviews, you need to go into the website. I've always had respect for 3WP up until the point to where for no reason he started trying to bash my name simply because I was working with Brush King. I never said nothing bad about 3WP. He can't find nothing, he can't pull nothing up about me dragging him or anything like that, right? But the reality is, this dude, as soon as I tried to challenge him on a iron sharpens iron standpoint, this dude starts calling me a snake and all of this stupid stuff. That's one reason why I can't respect somebody that move like that, because at the end of the day, it's not the people that you know that's trying to fight you that you gotta worry about. It's the people that's trying to give you a hug, but in their right hand, you don't even know they got a knife and they're trying to stab you in your back. It's the people that's trying to step on your position in order to elevate themselves higher. Those are the people you got to worry about. And typically, these people do this stuff with a smile on their face to make it seem like they so positive and that they never say nothing bad about somebody. Where I'm going to end this video off is, when it comes to my YouTube, all these people that talk about me, that start rumors, they start this stuff in secret groups. They start this stuff in private messages and things of that nature. But when it comes to me, I speak openly. So if there's anything wrong with what I'm saying, people can challenge me with what I'm saying with facts. But what I've learned is people don't do that. They just simply resort to ad hominem attacks. They try to attack my character. And I'm not going for that nonsense. At the end of the day, if somebody presents facts, I'm always willing to acknowledge it and say, hey, you know what? I was wrong there. Or this is actually what I said. But none of these people can do that because, like I said, from day one, I've always shown love. A lot of people love to say,
man, but he only doing this to support his family, or they only doing this to support their kids.
And what they're trying to tell me is,
F your kids, F your family.
All these people that have tried to stunt my channel's growth, that's tried to stunt my exposure and everything like that, they're basically telling me
only my family deserves to eat.
And this is the nonsense that goes out whenever we say Black Lives Matter. I got people in my own community that look like me, that's trying to keep me down, that's trying to keep my channel suppressed. So when I hear the term support black-owned businesses, I can't blindly support that. That's why I always say support good black-owned businesses. So with that being said, it's your boy J. Lou. Salute.
No flex, no stress, just bless. These boys can't test my wave, too fresh. J. Lou last verse with so much swag. How you hop on the beat with so much class? How these wavers copy and they beat still trash? How you write a verse last minute so fast? Take some notes, cause here is the game plan. Don't copy other people, yeah, be your own man.